Uh, he's a tough man. He's a great fighter, and I respect him.
What did he do in the first round that made you know that you were mistaken?
You guys saw. What I was in there tonight. Yeah, I thought that, once those bright lights hit and that round went and, I was in there, that, I'd find something. And I tried hard, but it wasn't there. And Conor was strong, and he was fast, and he was tough.
Tried my best, and listen, the kid fought hard, he fought tough. He's got power, this kid. He was bigger than me on the scouts. I don't know how you did it. I'm looking at him, he's 168. I'm 165. I'm like, what the hell's going on? But listen, we put on a show,
Chris Eubank Jr. finally speaks openly about Conor Benn's power, saying that the moment he looked Ben in the eyes, he knew Ben was ready for war. Eubank says he immediately felt the intensity and energy, and from the opening round he realized the fight would be anything but simple.
I looked into his eyes. He's up for it.
Johnny Nelson says Eubank Jr. gave everything in their previous meeting and still doesn't see real progression from him. With all the weight changes and build-up, Nelson believes Eubank has reached his ceiling and doesn't appear to have anything new to offer.
Chris will give himself every possible chance that's going, but in reality, personally, I just think the last performance of Chris, I thought, you've got nothing left. There's no more improvement on what I'm seeing there. And I know there was a weight issue and all the build-up to it. I thought this...
Eubank Jr. admits the night truly belonged to Conor Benn. He says he did what he could, but acknowledges Benn's resilience and the difficult challenge ahead of him, showing respect while evaluating his own performance.
This night's about Conor. He did what he needed to do to win. He fought a great fight, and I'm not here to talk about me. He is...
Eddie Hearn is blown away by Benn's ring IQ and composure. He says Ben stayed sharp round after round, made smart choices, and kept the fight entertaining. For Hearn, this confirms Ben as one of Britain's rising stars and a threat across multiple weight classes.
No need for a trilogy, no?
No, we want to move back there. Conor's the new star of British boxing, Look, he's filled Tottenham twice, and, he needed to be a bit smarter there. You know how exciting he is, but he just needed every round. I was just saying to him, just concentrate, please, just...
Eubank Jr. reflects that he genuinely believed his boxing ability would be enough to beat Ben. But Ben's performance proved far tougher than expected. He appreciates Ben's strength and tactical approach, acknowledging how demanding the contest truly was.
Genuinely thought that regardless of the issues that I've been dealing with, I would be able to go in there and win. Use my boxing skills, use what you guys saw in that first fight to beat Conor.
Conor Benn discusses the possibility of a third fight and hints that it might be best to leave things where they are. He's proud they sold out a stadium twice and feels the rivalry delivered everything promised, leaving him satisfied with the legacy created.
I can see him having a rematch again, or asking for a rematch, but ultimately, I think we should just let it lie now. Just let it lie. We've done what we had to do. We sold our stadium twice. It done what it said it was going to do on the tin.
Adam Smith praises Ben's fight IQ, especially his jab and body attacks. He says Ben's movement and game plan made the difference, while Eubank Jr. looked slow and unable to match the pace. Smith believes that's why Ben dominated from start to finish.
Yeah, that's sort of what everyone's saying. I think that Conor Benn boxed really well. I thought he was smart behind the jab. I thought his jabs were excellent tonight to head and to body. I thought his body shots were good. His movement, Conor Benn put a standout performance on. If you look at Chris, I thought he looked flat. I thought he was sort of stuck in.
Carl Frock points out that Eubank Jr. took too long to get going and overthought his work. That hesitation allowed Ben's straightforward but precise approach to shine, leaving Eubank unable to take control.
You know what Chris is like, he takes his time, which isn't a bad thing. He tries to be articulate, and he sort of overspoke the point he was making.
Liam Goff harshly criticizes Eubank Jr., saying he looked poor and raising questions about his future. At the same time, he applauds Ben's impressive showing and believes Ben could return to welterweight and continue rising.
done now twice. We should never see a trilogy. And honestly, Chris Eubank Jr., I don't know what he does. He looked awful. Absolutely awful in there. As for Conor Benn, listen, if you can get back down to welterweight, get back down.
Shane McGuigan says Eubank Jr. still has a lot to offer despite the loss. With better preparation and discipline, he believes Eubank can use his jab more effectively, box smarter, and remain a real threat late in fights. Although Benn was superior, McGuigan insists Eubank is far from done.
Eubank is the one that's going to go for, if he goes for a proper training camp, boxes a little bit behind his jab, I think he'll get the win. Maybe a stoppage late.
Derek Chisora describes the fight as thrilling but believes it should stand on its own. He says the drama of that night is complete and doesn't need repeating. His remarks praise Benn's commanding performance while emphasizing that the story has reached its natural conclusion.
It was great, but are we going to see that again? Do you want to see that again? No. It's done. 1-1, that's it. Leave it like that.
Nigel Benn firmly states that the rivalry is settled and there's no need for a third fight. He stresses the importance of legacy over unnecessary continuation. For him, Conor Benn's victory was decisive, and it's time to move on.
It's over with. I don't think, we beat the Eubanks. It doesn't bother me. I'm a bit more mature than that.
The grandchildren ain't having the sort of trilogy of the legacies.
No, we don't want that no more, mate. It's over with. Done.
Johnny Nelson explains that Conor Benn entered fully confident and aware of what he could do. Meanwhile, Eubank Jr. tried to rely on his old approach but misjudged what he could still depend on. Benn stayed systematic, maintained pressure, and exposed every weakness. Nelson says boxing punishes mistakes instantly, and Benn's discipline was the difference.
The thing, I'm not sure what I can get away with from the last fight. The twist, the pendulum is, he drits himself down that much, he's thinking he can do it again. As I said, anybody can get down to the weight, it's what you can do with the weight. Boxing's the worst place to be if you aren't going to put yourself at a disadvantage, because it's the only place you can legally get killed. And so what Chris did was, Chris depleted any advantage he had.
Dave Allen offers a balanced breakdown, saying Benn beat a diminished Eubank Jr. but warns against assuming Benn rules the 147 pounds division just yet. He argues that even though the champions aren't elite A-level fighters, Benn still has steps to climb. Comparing eras, Allen says Benn looked good but still has room to grow.
Hard to get anything away from it. He lost to a faded Eubank, and then he just beat a shot to bits one. That don't make that. He's not 147. He's not 147 champion elect on the back of that.
No, can he win a world title at 147 now though?
Maybe, but the champions aren't. They're not A-level champions. They're like the B-level champions. Barrios, Crocker, they're very good fighters, but they're not great fighters. But I'm still not sure he'll beat him. I don't think Conor Benn's a fantastic boxer. Nigel Benn, 1990, Nigel Benn would have flying Chris Eubank Jr. in one round tonight. That's the.
Dominic Ingle suggests Eubank Jr. lacked the hunger needed to win. Even with the chance to even the score, he didn't show urgency. Benn dictated everything, mentally and physically, proving he was the more committed fighter. Ingle says Eubank simply didn't show the fire required.
Didn't know they were going to have a rematch, and Eubanks had to win. Maybe he's got into this fight. I think, well, if he beats me, it's 1-1, whatever. But he just didn't have that fire in his belly tonight. You know, maybe he's just lost the taste for it. But for me, you know, I don't come to many live events.
Eddie Hearn highlights Benn's complete control throughout the fight. He says Benn boxed intelligently, stayed emotionally steady, and punished Eubank's body. Hearn calls it a monumental win for the Benn family and proof that Conor can handle bigger opponents while sticking to the game plan under pressure.
Schooling, really. He won every round, dropped it. I mean, 10 more seconds, the fight's over. Different kind of fight, obviously, to the first fight, but needed to be. Needed to box smart and not use his emotions in there. I thought he boxed really well, busted him up to the body, and massive win for a welterweight to come up to middleweight and avenge that defeat and finally get a victory for the Benn family in the 4th episode.
Dominic Ingle again criticizes Eubank Jr., saying he lacked his usual footwork and liveliness. While Benn fully deserved the win, Eubank's inactivity made the fight less exciting. Still, Benn's discipline and late-round execution strengthened his reputation.
Fortunately, for me, the fight didn't live up to the expectations. I'm extremely underwhelmed. How they've pulled that off. Very, very, very poor fight. Disappointing. It came alive in the last round. That's it. The last round it happened. And Conor Benn got the win, rightly so. But Eubanks tonight didn't turn up. Old overnight. His legs weren't in it.
Eddie Hearn continues to applaud Benn's discipline, control, and smart decision-making. He notes that staying emotionally balanced in a huge fight isn't easy, but Benn did it flawlessly. Eubank's struggles were made more obvious by Benn's sharp tactics, proving Benn can perform mentally and technically under pressure.
Yeah, easy nights were. And, we always knew he could do that, but Conor Benn controlling his emotion and following a game plan is easier said than done. Do you know what I mean? He was brilliant tonight.
The fight clearly showed how much the rivalry has shifted. Benn was mentally sharper, more focused, and fully committed, while Eubank Jr. lacked the fire he once had. Benn stuck to the strategy, controlled the moment, and capitalized on Eubank's lapses. The night proved that skill alone isn't enough, drive matters just as much. Benn now stands out as the faster rising force with power, discipline, and ring intelligence.